After the owner of a house goes missing, you discover he was rich, and you decide to go clean up the house of all the wealth. Maybe this was a bad idea. My name's Kanan, and welcome back to the home of Switch Gaming. With tasks like finding all the money bags and collecting all the eyes so that you can see the position of the monsters. Yeah, extra scary when they're actually directly behind you when you do this. But they do help to avoid them most of the time. As we look on the game screen, you have a map that's hand-drawn, like you're drawing it as you're going along. The eyes, as mentioned, so that you can see where they are. Your journal, that is basically the story, and it adds things as you go along, as you collect items and activating objects and the like. And your sprint icon, that you really need to use sparingly because, well, it's linked to a timer and you can't just use it all the time. It's also worth mentioning that if you want to make it slightly more difficult for yourself, you can turn the HUD off completely in the options menu so that you can't see how many eyes and run indicator that you actually have or have to wait for until you can use it again. And with sort of 8 different modes with different areas and the like a school, a hospital, and this house. And then on top of that, there's the Halloween section where you have to chase around a pumpkin to gain extra money. And most of the different modes all link into the story as well, like the hospital and like the school all links into the house at the beginning. I will also say that I found this on mobile, although it's you get the first level and then you have to pay for the rest. So I suppose $2.29 ain't that bad in that case. And also I'm guessing it's out on PC as well. Wandering around the areas, you search opening and closing drawers and the like, and collecting eyes from walls drawn in blood. You seem to keep the journal items, thankfully, that you have collected through the level. Whenever you die and go back, you still have those, so you don't need to go and recollect them. So in the end, it kind of like purely comes down to collecting the money to open up the other locations. It's kind of a cat and mouse chase. The monster tries to find you, then you find yourself hitting run. I wish they didn't put run at the top all the time. That's kind of annoying, and I would rather have just been scared because I didn't see it. And so hitting the run button, you run away, hopefully, without bumping into things, and then have to wait until that indicator goes down before you use it again, but hopefully you've got yourself into a safe place. And finally, there are puzzles, simple ones that you can solve just to get into areas you couldn't get into before and unlocking doors. There are also things like saws that you need to pick up to take off planks so that you can also get into other areas, and keys to be found to yet again get into other areas. But is this any good? Well, for starters, it made me jump, and jump more than once. That didn't last long, but when it does, it really gets you. And for £2.29, this game may not seem the best game by first impressions. Graphically, it's good, but it's kind of like old school good. One of those like everything's static apart from the monster and things that are meant to be moving. There are some nice touches to the graphics, and the music and sound is also the same. It's kind of like one of those old school, I think it was called Seventh Mansion. It just gives you what you need, and yeah, I suppose that's okay. Yeah. The sound also has some nice little touches as well. Go to the piano whenever you get into that room. But I'm not going to spoil everything, as there are some little additions to this game that you can find, and mechanics that are also different. The money bags and eyes seem to be moved each round that you play, which is nice because obviously it's more of a challenge that way, isn't it? That's it, really. And the bags aren't just there just to collect for a point run. You get to unlock the other modes by actually collecting these coin bags, and by unlocking them by spending the coins that you've collected. I will mention that I found picking up items from time to time was a bit fiddly, and also opening items, you know, like desks and things like that, a little bit fiddly as well. The smaller they are, the harder I found they were to pick up. I like the fact that once you've completed a stage, like the mansion, there was extra story and also like a stat screen which told you how long it took you to do, how many coins you collected, and all that lot, which was kind of appreciated because they could have just gone back to the menu or started the next bit if you'd unlocked it. None of this is absolutely amazing, but for the price tag, and remember I am thinking of that £2.29 slot, it's pretty good. And then it's off to school after you've done this, and off to the hospital, or maybe just go trick-or-treating. All of these aren't just cut and pastes. These are actually different levels with different graphics, different items, and different mechanics, more importantly. Like, as soon as you go into the hospital, you soon start learning that there are different mechanics to survival here. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but you'll find out. It does add to the fun, it does add to the scares because there's different monsters in each, and even a level where you get going against 2 monsters at the same time. Ooh. But as I said, they do add to the gameplay, and the pumpkin chase is just fun for a distraction from the main game. Now I rate games out of 5, and I'm going to score this twice. Number 1, 5 out of 5 if you've got this for free. And a big thank you to QubicGames for giving us it free for, thank you for owning some of our other games. And it's Halloween. But I'd be hard pressed to give this kind of any other score because there is quite a bit of content here. It's okay, not the most modern game, but for free, come on, it's free and it's Halloween. But if I had to rate it with an actual score, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I'm tempted to give it a 4. I'm going to go 3. And let me explain why. It has a fair amount of content, which is nice, and yes, I think that's really, really good. It has some nice touches as well. I enjoyed playing it, but not sure about the long-term gameplay after completion of each level. But all in all, I'm happy that I picked this up and that I played this game. But it's that longevity that's holding me back, and I think holding it back from a 4 out of 5. But then there's that, it was £2.29. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think it's a 4 out of 5? Do you think it's a 3 out of 5 and agree with me? That's what those comments are for. Just hit me up, let me know, score it yourself. Okay, so maybe hit that like and subscribe button. You'll be doing me a huge Halloween favour. And remember, life's a lot better when we all switch together.